Ghana Must Go is quite loaded with painful history, especially for many Ghanaians. And this was the term that emerged from the corners of Nigerian, from the corners of Nigeria. That's the street of Lagos back in the 80s. Well, it's 2025, and another term, a reversed one, Nigeria Must Go, has since emerged. This time, not, of course, from the street of Lagos, but from the street of Accra, Ghana. I say a warm welcome to you. This is Homo Politicus. You're live on Enterprise Television. Kingsley Bass is my name. Let's get into what is a major concern, a development that sparked concern for a lot of Ghanaians as they took to the street, and indeed for Nigerians living in Ghana, as Ghanaians took to the streets demanding the expulsion of Nigerians from their country over claims ranging from rising crime, to economic dominance. And that with chilling placards and disturbing rhetoric, this protest is now being seen not just as a public outcry, but provocation with dangerous diplomatic undertones. And members of the Nigerian community in Ghana, they are speaking out against this, citing long-standing discrimination, targeted economic sabotage, and selective enforcement of laws that make their daily lives unbearable. And they warn that this latest protest risk tearing the already fragile fabric of West African unity. Well, let's talk about this today in Homo Politicus. It's a very sensitive one. Let's discuss what lies beneath this rising tension. Is it cultural misunderstanding? Is it economic rivalry? Or something far more sinister than that? Is the Nigeria Must Go protest a reflection of a genuine national frustration or a veiled expression of xenophobia and economic envy? Is that the case? How should this matter be addressed from both sides? We do know that the Ghana, and that's the latest development as regards this, the Ghanaian president has since told the Nigerian president there is no room for xenophobia or xenophobic attacks in Ghana. We know too that the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in Nigeria, Bianco Juku, was in Ghana to have conversations and to discuss this development as well with Ghanaian authorities. I'm joined at this time on Homo Politicus by the political commentator and security consultant, High Chief Darlington Momo Umoru. A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Kingsley. My pleasure being here as usual. The topic you're raising this morning is a germane one, and it's very, very sensitive.
Yeah.
It has a lot of implications for both countries. It has economic implications. It has security implications. It also has social implications. And it also affects some of the ECOWAS agreements that has to do with, even that of the UN, but as it is a very sensitive one. Yeah. Let me leave it at that.
Yeah.
You come up with some of your questions.
Yeah, I think a fine place to begin will be one of the questions posed while, introducing this conversation. And that would be, if you think that this Nigeria Must Go protest by Ghanaians, some Ghanaians, we must say, against Nigerians in Ghana is a reflection of genuine national frustration, or if you think that that's a veiled expression of xenophobia and that economic envy. For some persons, you know what they say about Nigerians? We know they carry last. Well, while in Nigeria it is Warri know they carry last. When we leave Nigeria, it is Nigerians know they carry last. And we are very industrious people, and wherever we find ourselves, we thrive, right? And it's been said sometimes that, we economically dominate wherever we go. Do you think that this is a genuine concern for many Ghanaians protesting this, or it is just born out of economic envy?
It has nothing to do with economics. I thought you would have given a fair background into this to this matter. First off, it wasn't Nigeria that it wasn't Nigeria that first. The Ghana Must Go team didn't first start with Nigeria. It started with Ghana at a point in time in their early part where they asked most foreigners to leave Ghana, and Nigerians were also affected. That was the first before Nigeria had their own version and asked Ghana to go when they were becoming constituting a lot of I'm struggling with my head not to use the choice of words that my heart is throwing at me. That happened, and then now, what actually happened now is not economics. It's not about the economy of Ghana. I'll give you a background into it. There's a certain Nigerian from the Igbo, extraction who called himself the Igbo of Ghana. I'm sure you met him in December. I gave an opportunity to you to meet with him. It was in that program my Elation magazine organized, precisely the Africa's Living Legend Awards, where legends in Africa were honored. He was one of those who was there at that event. Now, the bane of the Ghanaians is not about the economy. Recall that that stool has had a problem in Ghana amongst the Igbo extraction. Some of them have been, about 2 of them have been struggling over that stool as per who becomes the head of the Igbo community in Ghana. We had a lot of them at that event, if you recall, in Ghana, where he was also honored amongst other great Nigerians across the African continent, including Nigeria. Now, that stool has been a point of tussle for some time. Who would head the Igbo people in Ghana? Now, across Africa and some other parts of the world, where you have the Igbo people, the Yorubas and the Hausas, they come together and then they appoint a leader who appears in the form of a monarchy, to them on that in diaspora.
Those ceremonial are not, necessarily crowned.
Well, I don't know what you call ceremonial here and not necessarily crowned. They are crowned in that land. What you call ceremonial, I don't know how to align myself or to juxtapose myself on that. But the truth I know is they are often crowned in that land, not by the owners of that land, but by their own people who are resident in that land. Talking about the diaspora. That's why sometimes you also have them having other ceremonies concerning the coronation, in terms of the traditional leadership of the people in diaspora. Now, Kingsley, let's bring it back to Ghana. Let's narrow it down so that we don't lose focus what it is. In the case of Ghana, he has emerged as the Ezendibu, as he calls himself. Another man is also gone struggling with him to say, no, it's supposed to be me. But that's not the issue for the Ghanaians. Now he has gone ahead to acquire several acres of land. Don't forget that he is married to a Ghanaian woman, you know, and he also has this very large palace in East Legon in Ghana. That area where he resides, where the palace is called East Legon. You know, I have been to that palace, and so you're talking with the right person this morning. And I have seen things for myself. I've seen the chiefs and all of that. But the Ghanaian problem as it is right now is that the man has acquired several acres of land in Ghana. He was not given those acres of land for free by the Ghanaians. And then he said he's building, he want to build, is he a Nigerian village now, Igbo village?
Igbo village, an Igbo community, yeah.
Igbo community, you know, in that land. And,
yeah, but he has since said, pardon me, High Chief, he has since said that there's a video that's emerged from his camp where he has said that, well, that was some dream back, you know, some years ago, which did not materialize, by the way, and that if you look at the picture at the time, he was younger than now. If you compare that, especially with his, you know, gray beards now and the rest. But I get the background you put there. You saying from this background?
I've not really gotten to the vein. I thought you would have been patient for me to get to the
vein.
Well,
because of time. I'm sorry. Yeah, because of time, High Chief. Yeah, because of course.
Time, I think we have to get to the vein, Kingsley.
Yeah, it's important to do so.
Ghanaians have said.
Yes.
The Ghanaians have said. This all started with a blogger who did a video, okay, and spoke on the activities of the Eze Indigbo in Ghana.
Yeah.
And then he talked about how all of that was going to affect the people of Ghana. And then two things he complained about. One, he said you cannot have a monarchy in Ghana when you already have a Ghanaian monarchy. Okay? And then he also talked about building a space for Biafra, like you want to start Biafra from Ghana and then take it to Nigeria. You know, these were his challenges, and these were the things he did say, Ghana and Kingsley, and this is what I see as some of the things that has, you know, blossomed now into the Ghanaian society. But one thing I must correct in what you were trying to say or do is that it has no relationship with xenophobic activities. They are merely saying that you cannot have a monarchy in a land where they already have a monarchy. Two, that you cannot start something and then indirectly want to start what they refer to as insecurity, build an army in the name of Biafra from that village, assemble them.
Just to correct, I'm not sure. I mean, just to check and just to very quickly fact check that. Well, we are not aware about the Biafra part. We do know that, yes, of a fact, the Ndigbo did at some point in time, at one point in time, talk about having an Igbo community. He has now said that did not materialize. That didn't come to pass. But the Biafra part, we're not completely sure that he's pushing for that, he has since pushed for that.
Nobody said he's pushing for that. I've not said he's pushing for that. I think you should listen to me very well.
You just said, High Chief Darlington, that...
Alleged.
Yes.
I said what was alleged by the blogger. A blogger started all of this. I don't know if you've seen that. All of this started with a blogger.
That, yes.
All of this started, I'm telling you about what the blogger alleged. I'm not saying this is the truth. I am only trying to bring, educate the viewers about the history of all of this. It started with that blogger. That was what I said. And I was merely quoting some of the things he alleged.
Good. Yeah, again, just to set the record straight, that we do not know that, and that's the part I was putting forward. That said, do you think? I need to separate what your perspective is from what's the picture you're trying to paint from the perspective of the Ghanaians or this blogger. You saying that the reason or this protest, this Nigeria Must Go protest, is justified based on the activities, the recent activities, or in the past, previous activities of the Ndigbo in Ghana?
I'd like you to take that question again.
All right. So the reason for this, my first question to you this morning, which has led to this point, is the fact that do you think that this is xenophobic in nature? Do you think that this is born out of economic envy of Nigerians thriving in Ghana by some Ghanaians?
And I've explained that to you. I have explained that to you. I thought I did that when I told you. I said it clearly that they are both distinct. They are not the same. I said that earlier. Okay,
good then. I get your points of view now, which will drive the conversation further as we proceed. What then, can the Nigerian government do alongside the Ghanaian government, of course, in collaboration, to put?
They have already done all of that. They have done all of that. They are interacting. They are interfacing over the issue because it's one of concern. They have already, you said that the presidents have talked, and then the foreign ministers have also talked. So they are jojoring over how to get over it. That's the solution.
All right, fantastic. We need to go on a short break now. When we get back from this, we would continue the conversation and expand things even further. It's Homo Politicus. This is Enterprise Television, Kingsley Bassisman, and we're discussing this cross-border strain. Protesters emerged in Ghana, Accra, Ghana precisely, and this is against Nigerians there. Some Ghanaians have started bearing placards saying Nigeria must go. Well, don't stray breath. Stick around. We're back in just a moment to continue the conversation. Many thanks for staying there. And it's Homo Politicus on Enterprise Television. Kingsley Bassisman. We're talking a cross-border strain. We're talking the protest in Ghana against Nigerians. Some Ghanaians protesting against Nigerians, and they want Nigerians to leave their land. Again, some Nigerians. We're joined at this time. By the way, I've been speaking with High Chief Darlington Momo Umoru, political commentator and security consultant. We're joined at this time by the Ghanaian, the political commentator from Ghana, in Ghana, Akwasi Boake joins the conversation as mentioned virtually. Akwasi, many thanks for joining me today.
All right, thank you very much, my brother.
Yeah, appreciate that. Very quickly, let's get your thoughts and perspective on this protest by some Ghanaians against Nigerians in Ghana.
Okay, so a quick one. Personally, I have lived with Nigerians when I was growing up. Far as Kumasi, not even in Accra, right? In Kumasi, years back, if I remember, talking about the year 2001, 2002, coming down there, I lived with the Igbos who were selling spare parts in Kumasi those days. And I'm a Catholic, a very devout Catholic, and we used to have a special mass for only the Nigerians those days. And I remember very well, and we had no issues whatsoever. I mean, things were going on well, business was booming, Nigerians were selling their spare parts, Ghanaians were also selling their own spare parts, and things were just normal until, just some few years ago when this whole thing started. If I remember, I think the first time I saw this type of protest, that is, if my memory serves me right, is around 2019 and 2018. I keep worrying.
What's responsible for this? Why are Ghanaians protesting against Nigerians?
Okay, so most Ghanaians actually, or the Ghanaian traders, let me put it that way, they feel that the Nigerians are taking off the market, as in they are getting enough customers more than them, right? But personally, I feel that is not right. Let me give you a real story that happened to me and a Nigerian seller, right? Now I was in Accra circle. I think I was going somewhere. I forgotten where exactly I was going, and a Nigerian seller approached me with earphones, right? An earbud, let me put it that way. And this years ago, and then it has now come in the system. And when it came into the system, Ghanaians were selling it so hugely. If I'm to calculate it in naira price, one earbud those days was going for like 250 cedis, which is like let's say currently 25,000 naira or even more.
2,500
Right?
naira,
Yeah. No. It was 25,000 naira.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, that high.
Oh.
That high.
Wow.
That high. So personally, I was not interested in buying it. Even those online markets too were selling it at the same prices, right? So a Nigerian approached me, and I asked him the price, and he said, if I remember, 80 Ghana, which is like 8,000 naira. So I told him that if he could reduce it further, I'll buy it. Then he said I should bring it like 70 cedis, which is like 7,000, right? And I bought it there and then. Wow. And I've used that earbud from that time. That was in, I think, 2020 or that 2021. So now, it has no spot. So it's not as if he sold me inferior good. He actually sold me an original earbud for that amount.
For cheaper.
A Ghanaian was ready to sell. Yes, a Ghanaian was ready to sell it to me for 250 cedis. But Nigerian sold it for me for just 70 cedis. So you see, once it happened, most Ghanaians will now troop to that person's and go and buy the person's goods. You understand? Personally, I took his contact and I've linked a lot of people to him. Right? Now the Ghanaians feel threatened that, okay, if this is what the Nigerians are going to do, Ghanaians are not buying our things. So let's just sack the Nigerians. And there is this sort of hypocrisy in there, in that you sit down as Ghanaians and criticize South Africans for being xenophobic. But you yourself, this action too is also xenophobic. So we can't live in a society where everybody feels that I want to sell this for this amount and all that. I mean, it trickles down to the kind of businesses Ghanaians even do. In that, at the time now, if I am a Ghanaian farmer, I've harvested some product from my farm and I want to sell in the market. Nobody would want to buy it unless I see the market queen. And the market queen will now determine that, okay, you brought your product, but we are doing the pricing for you. I mean, you don't even know how much went into producing these foods or farming products, but you want to determine the price for me. Right, so this whole thing is a little bit difficult for most of Ghanaians.
Kwasi, just before, because we have started this conversation sometime before you join the conversation, we need to begin to wrap very quickly. Before we return to High Chief Darlington Momoru, a political commentator in Nigeria and security consultant, just very quickly, there are thoughts and perspectives that this too, or the ceremonial is Indigbo's too in Ghana is partly responsible for this protest. As a matter of fact, some people say that is what is really responsible for this protest. Is that true from your point of view? Kwasi.
Yeah, come and give me the question. You said which one is true in my...
Some people believe that the the ceremonial stool of the Ndigbo in Ghana and the recent video by the blogger is what's responsible for this.
No, it's not true. I gave you a historical antecedent. I mean, right from the year, as far as I'm concerned, I even asked my father a question. I think he said even in the issue, our friend, the Igbo man who said he wanted to build a village, we didn't have any issue whatsoever. There was nothing. Ghana and Nigeria were living quiet, safely. Nothing had happened. You get it? So this is more or less like an old thing, because the previous government said, oh, they'll work on it. And the traders felt, oh, they've not worked on it. There's a new government. Let's now bring it back.
All right.
You understand? Yeah. So it's more or less like, okay, it's just a coincidence, but it's far from this whole Igbo kinship stuff.
Okay. Let's turn to High Chief Darlington Momo. How do you respond to this?
Nothing. How do I respond? How do I respond to it? He's a Ghanaian, and he has told you that. Because he's a Ghanaian, and he has told you that. Because what I don't know how to respond to it, so that I don't say to him what I'm not.
I'm saying, what's your thoughts, considering where we have started the conversation, where you dropped, where we landed before he joined the conversation.
I don't want to say it's not informed. If that was the case, why would the Igbo traditional leaders, particularly the chairman of the Igbo Traditional Council, release a communique in respect of that? Why would the Obi of Onitsha also join in making a statement in respect of that? Why would the Nigerians in that place make statements in respect of that? So what do you want me to say? That is uninformed about it, that is in Ghana, that because he's a Ghanaian, he has a grasp of all of it. I don't know what to tell you, Kingsley. I don't want to join issues with... I've told you the much I know as a journalist, as somebody who has followed the trend. I've been speaking with Nigerians in Ghana. I've spoken with the PRO of NIDO in Ghana concerning this matter. I've talked with a Ghanaian, Harun, in Ghana concerning this matter. So I don't know where his own is coming from. So let's take his own. That's all I'll tell you.
He has shared his perspective, and he says this is
I've also shared my own perspective.
Economic. Yes, and that's exactly just before we wrap, the conversation. Kwasi, I'd like to get your final thoughts. High Chief Darlington Momodu believes this is stemming from the activities of the Igbo, kingship stool, which has been said to be purely ceremonial. Just like to get your final thought on that before we wrap.
Okay, so a quick one. The truth of the matter is, factually, this whole we are sacking Ghanaians, they are taking over. It started way back 2019, as far as I'm concerned. It's not now. So it's not the Igbo kingship that has erupted it. People feel there's a new government, and you know this new government came. They are doing a lot of stuff. Once you protest, he listens and you attend to it. So people feel, okay, if there's a new government, why not we bring it up again? Is this a sheer coincidence that it happened like the Igbo kingship issue came, and this whole issue has also cropped up? As a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, the Igbo community, including the Igbo king, they went to see the foreign affairs ministry, and the foreign affairs ministry claims the man, as in the Igbo chief, has apologized. So if there's an apology, what then is there again, right? These are factual reports that we are reading. As far as I'm concerned.
Why should the Igbo king? Why are you now saying the Igbo king went to apologize over an issue that does not concern him? I don't understand. Kingsley, please. I think I have to run now.
All right, we've got
why should the Igbo king?
I could show you news items of people.
Why are we getting it wrong?
Maybe later I could show you news items on all these things. Probably. What I'm saying is not right in your eyes, but I have news items that indicates that indeed there was an apology from. In fact, it was the Foreign Affairs Ministry of Ghana that said it.
Why should he apologize? That's the question I'm asking. Why should there be an apology? Then you are saying it's completely out of what is on ground. Why should there be an apology? I don't know how to reconcile all of that.
Okay, I get it. Okay, then that question obviously will go to the king, and not to the Ghanaian community. Because as far as I'm concerned, there has been issues that there have been meetings with the Igbo king, and the foreign affairs minister stated that the Igbo king apologized. So if there's an apology, like I said, then there's no issue
apologizing over the issue that concerns him. The issue you first raised does not concern him. The issue that concerns him is about the issue of his monarchical position, and then the buying of acres of land that they say they want to use as Igbo village, and then you are saying another thing. So why would he go apologize if not with these ones that concern him? Please,
No,
I beg you, Kingsley,
the apology, as far as I'm concerned, was to the fact that he said the man they claim the Igbo king said he's going to build a whole village in Ghana, and that is what Ghanaians were angry at. That why would you come from Nigeria?
Complicating yourself.
Okay.
You are complicating yourself now.
All right.
You just said that was not the issue. You are saying it now again that the Ghanaians are angry at him.
Okay,
saying they want to
gentlemen.
build Igbo.
Why
are you creating? You are making yourself look as if you are not very well informed.
Gentlemen. Let's leave things there. One thing is for sure. That the Nigerian government is working with the Ghanaian government to get this resolved. We've seen, report statements from both camps, and hopefully this can be resolved. The process can stop. And indeed, Nigerians and Ghanaians are regarded as very close brothers. If you like, Siamese twin, and this relationship has lasted for decades, in fact, centuries. And so we hope to see this continue. And we really do hope that violence will stop, and this, war of words and protests will come to a close, and we can move forward together economically, especially as regards, trade within the ECOWAS region. I'd like to thank you so much, High Chief Darlington Umoru, for joining me today. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, High Chief Darlington. High Chief Darlington, thank you very much. Yes. Kwasi Boake as well, thank you so much for joining the conversation today.
Thank you very much, my brother. I'm highly grateful.
Appreciate that. All right. That's Homo Politicus today. Many thanks for joining me. Kingsley Bass is my name. If you're Ghanaian, Nigerian, well, if you're South African, if you, well, I'm not sure where you're watching from and what nationality you are, but just join the conversation in the comment section. Let's know what you think and make of today's episode of the program. It's Homo Politicus. Until next time, please be safe, and let's say no to xenophobia. Bye for now.